Every single one of us has bigger goals. Every single one of us wants to be something in life, wants to do something in life. Why we see very few people actually work on their goals consistently? What is the reason? In the month of January, you see gyms are crowded, right? In the month of February, if you see, no, very few people work out. Why this happens? In this video, I'll talk about 3 mistakes 97% people make while dealing with discipline. 1. They start with greater intensity. Second, they expect results too soon. And third, they lose hope in the long run. 1. They start with great intensity. Actually, if you see, we are surrounded by fervent motivational speeches, right? Inspirational songs. We are flooded with unrealistic film dialogues. And when we see that everywhere, the passion, the intensity of emotions is going on, and we assume that we need this kind of emotion to start to work on our goals. Calmness is not as valuable as motivation. People value motivation, they don't value calmness or understanding. Which is why in the spur of this motivation, they start to work on their goal with intensity, but the unfortunate thing is they cannot keep up with this intensity for a longer time. Because intensity is not meant to be continued for a longer time. If you want to go in the long run, if you want to build something for a lifetime, intensity will not work. Some point of time you will lose that intensity, your enthusiasm will fade, and you will give up on your goal. If you are investing a lot of money on stocks, you expect immediate results, right? In the same way, if you are investing a lot of energy in the beginning, you expect things to happen faster. And second point, when you start with bigger intensity, intense emotions, you become impatient, angry, and then frustrated. Mistake number 2. 97% people expect results too soon. Actually, our generation is motivated by film stars. Watching movies, we want to make change in our life. By watching a hero on the screen, we start to change our life. And we also see that the hero gets transformed in a month or two. We see hero is achieving the gold medal, preparing for the world championship in a couple of months. But when you actually check the records, how much it takes to be a world champion, you will see that it is a decade. 10 years of practice, 10 years of intense training, 10 years of focus. But we apply the film mentality in our life and we expect to see results faster. What if forget that when you are building something in our life or when we are building discipline, our goals are bigger, our ambitions are bigger, but we are the same. So we have to change, we have to increase our capacity according to our ambitions, and this particular thing so many people forget. We have to change, we have to learn, we have to transform ourselves according to our ambition. And when you are doing that, you will see that you are learning. And learning takes time. Whenever you are learning something, it will take time. And how learning happens, nobody knows. Learning is a mysterious process, and how exactly this happens, nobody knows. See what George Leonard wrote in Mastery. We have to keep practicing an unfamiliar moment again and again until we get in the muscle memory or program it into the autopilot. The specific mechanism through which this works is not completely known. When you start to build discipline, your cognitive and effort systems work and the habit system kicks in and cognitive and effort systems withdraw. But the specific mechanism through which this takes place is not completely known. If you see, as I mentioned, learning is a mysterious process, and when the change exactly is going to happen, nobody knows. No scientist talks about it. Nobody can tell you the exact day, at this particular day you are going to achieve something. See, when you are learning driving, what you do? Now you are driving effortlessly, right? It is habitual, something you cannot think of. But initially when you started driving, instructions were given. But when you actually learned driving that time, where that information went, you don't know, right? Nobody knows. And the moment you learned the driving, that particular moment you could not predict it, and nobody can predict. What you have done, you just have practiced. In the same way, if you see a child and he is trying to speak and learning a language, and if you call up someone and ask him, how much time it will take to learn a language? They'll say, we don't know. Because the exact process of learning is not conscious. It is something below the level of your consciousness. Which is why we cannot predict that. And the fun thing is nobody predicts. Nobody can predict. No scientist, no one. So how you can expect results on your time? You cannot expect. But you can be 100% sure that whatever you're working on is going to happen. You can be 100% sure that whatever you're working on is going to happen, but you cannot predict the time. You can expect it to happen. And very few people know this, which is why they give up. They expect bigger things in a shorter time. They try to build discipline, but they see no results in months. They give up. We can predict results, but we cannot predict the timing. That is the case. Once you understand this, your journey of discipline will be easier. Mistake number 3, 97% people, they lose hope in the long run. If you are building discipline in whatever you endeavor, maybe making money or building physique or building a skill or working on a personality, whatever it is. If you are trying to build a discipline, we approach this thing with confidence. But you don't need confidence for building discipline. What you need is hope. Because in the initial stage, you cannot have confidence because confidence comes from achieving things and initially you don't achieve anything. So how will you get confidence? If you approach a discipline with confidence or your goal with confidence, at some point of time, your confidence will flinch. You will see after a year, you have not grown. What you've forgotten that it's a lifelong process. But if you see yourself that you are not achieving your things, your confidence will fade. But what will stay with you is hope. Because you need something, list of achievements to have confidence in your life. If you don't have that list, then you will not have confidence. Building discipline is a way to make that list possible. Building discipline is a way to have that list of achievement. And for that, you can't rely on confidence. All a task, right? But what you can do, you can rely on hope. Confidence puts responsibility on your shoulders, but hope removes the burden of responsibility from your shoulders and puts responsibility on God's shoulders. So if you are hopeful and if you are thinking that, yeah, I am putting my work, I am working, I hope someday it will work out. I am getting up, I am working, every single day I am working, and I hope that things are going to work out. I hope that I am going to change. I hope that things are going to change. And I hope that I am going to achieve dreams. What I am doing here, I am doing my own part, but I am lifting the burden of responsibility on my shoulders and putting it on God. That is hope. But people in the long run, they take responsibility on themselves. They see that they are not achieving things. They blame themselves and then they quit. Which is why they lose hope. They approach discipline with confidence. We have to approach it with hope. That is what I am saying. Well, these were 3 mistakes people make, 97% people make, and they can't build discipline because of that. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel for becoming a leader in your life. Thank you very much.